Namaste. A few days ago, I brought you the full moon report and the tropical zodiac for the Western world, which was really right on target, resonated a little too close to home. It was all about communism and the communist propaganda that we've been experiencing here in the West. But today, I want to give you a message from the Eastern Indian Vedic astrology, which I think will leave you with a whole lot more hope and light, and hope for our future. So today's full moon in Vedic astrology is in the nakshatra, or the lunar mansion of Pushya. And it's so beautiful. I can't wait to tell you all about it. Vedic astrology goes by the actual size of the constellations and their relations to the galactic center, which is considered the womb of God, where souls enter in and are reincarnated. So according to Vedic astrology, this full moon today, January 28th of 2021, is in the nakshatra, or lunar mansion, section of the constellation of Cancer. The full moon is at 14 degrees of Cancer. At 12 degrees of Cancer is actually known as, in the Sabian symbols, a woman nursing a child whose aura shows him to be the reincarnation of a great teacher. So this area of Cancer is directly opposite of the galactic center, which is where souls are said to leave the body. And in this area of Cancer is where souls enter. Cancer is the mother, and in this case, the divine mother, giving birth to the divine child. And at 14 degrees is where she's nourishing the child. And Pushya is actually represented by the breast. It's the word for nourishment in the Indian language. And it's actually about a mother nursing a child. And this area of Cancer is actually ruled by Jupiter and Saturn, much like the Bethlehem star, or the conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn, which we just had in December of 2020. So, more confirmation. This is actually called Precipice, or the manger constellation. Also is referred to as the house of the carpenter, or the stable. And Saturn is at 10 degrees of Capricorn, which is an angel with a harp, blowing a harp or playing a song. And directly opposite the full moon, the sun is revealing a Mayan tablet, which reminds us of the ancient, long forgotten culture. Which reminds me of the 2012 prophecies of the ending of the 26,000 year Baktun cycle, the 13th Baktun, and the beginning of the new age. And Venus is also opposite the moon at 1 degree of Capricorn, which is an Indian chief demanding recognition. So we have a very interesting lineup in Capricorn. More than anything, the Mayan went by the cycles of Venus. This ancient culture was able to calculate these intricate cycles of Venus long before modern man. So the Mayan calendar ended in 2012, and they believed would be the restart of the great cycle, or the great return of their sun god. It was the end of the Piscean age and the beginning of the next age, the age of Aquarius. And this was to take place around 2012. According to the Hebrew calendar, that would be the year 5773. The major constellation just happens to be 577.3 light years from Earth. Now, going back to tropical astrology, Venus is at 1 degree of Aquarius. The new age of Aquarius. So 29 degrees of Pisces is light breaking through a prism. 14 degrees is the sun is entering a birth canal. In 2012, I was told that I would have a son and that he was to usher in the millennial age. Levi has Jupiter conjunct Sirius at 12 degrees of Cancer. He is a star seed. We are ushering in the millennial age. When I looked at this full moon in the sidereal astrology, I recognized that it is just like Levi Bear's birth chart. And it is in a trine to Mars at 15 degrees of Aries, which is at Levi's birth. It's pointed right at April 14th, 15 degrees, where the blood moon was on Passover 2014, where the Mayan believe we entered the millennial age. On the weekend of September 8th, 9th, and 11th, I went to a women's retreat, and there the prophet told me that God had changed my name to Mary and that I was going to have a son. A second and third prophet told me that I was the woman chosen to give birth and that my son would usher in the millennial kingdom. What does a person do with that? But you carry it around for almost 7 years and you learn how to read his birth chart. You become a magi, you become an astrologer, and so I did. I can now confirm by Levi's birth chart who he is, and my own, my husband's, his father's. It's in his chart. The full moon reveals things. It reveals the truth. Sometimes uncomfortable things, but all I can do is tell my truth and step into my calling. So in honor of the Leo full moon, I decided to muster up my courage and reveal myself to you.
What? Oh, you don't want me to peel it?
So let me explain a little bit about what I've learned. I'm a Leo. That's all I knew when I started on this journey. I was born on August 19th, 1975. This prophet who told me that my name had been changed to Mary, she said that God told her this on August 19th. I told her that was my birthday. What I've learned is that August 19th is on the cusp of Leo and Virgo. So it is a woman with a crown of 12 stars on her head. There are 12 stars in the sign of Leo. That makes me like the Virgin Mary with the crown on her head, a Leo Virgo cusp. Now, Levi. In the book of Leviticus, or Levi, the 23rd verse says that the 14th of April should be for the Passover, always. At the last Passover, the disciples asked Jesus, where will we celebrate the next Passover? He says, find the man with a pitcher of water and follow him into his house. The house of Aquarius. The age of Aquarius. We were moving in, or we would pass over into the next age, the next house on the zodiac or the Mazzaroth, the age of Aquarius. It is a sign of a man pouring out a pitcher of water. Levi Bear was born on Passover with a blood moon in water, my little water bear. And we poured the blood out. Mary's alleged birthday is September 8th. This is the day that I went to the women's conference and was told that on my birthday, August 19th, that this woman had received a word from God and that there would be a woman at this conference struggling with her identity and that God wanted to give her a new name. And that name was Mary. Because my birthday is on August 19th, my sun is conjunct the star Regulus in the heart of the lion of Leo. It is called the Little King, and it represents the star of the Christ. Regulus is on the chart of Mother Mary and Saint Teresa of Avila and many other holy women of God. Levi's birth chart. Sun at 0 degrees of Aries is a woman and cub emerging from water. My little bear was born in water, my water bear, in the house of Aquarius, the house of the carpenter. My husband's a carpenter. 29 degrees of Pisces, completion cycle. Evangelist, savior, offering redemption, light breaking through a prism. Moon at 22 degrees of Virgo, royalty, royal bloodline, coat of precious arms of stones. Mercury at 17 degrees of Pisces. And Easter, resurrection, or rebirth, reborn. Venus at 14 degrees of Aquarius. The serpent, birth canal, passing into another realm. Mars, 15 degrees of Libra, a circular path. Jupiter at 12 degrees of Cancer. I mentioned this earlier, the reincarnation of the Christ. Saturn, 26 degrees of Libra, an eagle turning into a dove. Uranus at 18 degrees of Pisces is a giant revival tent. A revivalist, 19 degrees of Pisces, is a master instructing his disciples. 20 degrees is a Passover meal. And 21 degrees of Pisces is a white lamb. He is my little Aries, my little lamb.